So I think that
This double sleeve?
Oh, okay.
I think we need to see this for the camera. Hey everyone, this is Curb, and I bring you another standard match. Today we've got one that is a little bit, off meta, to say the very least. We've got Baromagnus on the left, and on the right we're going up against a deck that I have not seen in a very long time, that being Tamayura. The deck technically did get support in set 6. It got like one new card, and look, there it is. But, it sure is the same deck as it's always been. I mean, to be fair, completely fair to like Tamayura, it does have like some rush potential, but like the problem is like there's like 15 other decks that do it better. But any Tamayura fans out there, I don't know, comment down below in the comment section. Anyways, gotta remind myself what these cards do. The what's it called? The Grade 1 lets you search from the top 7 for like an order card or a Rirumi or Rarami, I think. Looks like we're going to be adding the new order card. That card on the bottom looks like it's the one that we draw for starter, because obviously you do have to draw before you, search, as we're going to be playing that. That new card is... I don't even know why they bothered making that card. It's basically another copy of Broken Toys. It like searches for a Rarami or a Rirumi, and like it puts them to soul or drop or something, and then that card goes to soul, which is definitely like helpful for Tamayura, because like they tend to have like Tamayura just has like so many resource issues, man. It's like not even funny. Did we play the order card or not? Oh, I guess not. I don't know what's happening. Don't ask me. I was busy talking about Tamayura. I was paying attention. Anyways, Baromagnus. I have not touched this deck or even like really looked at it since... oh yeah, there goes the order card in the soul where it's supposed to be. I have not looked at Baromagnus. Fun fact for y'all, I used to be a Baromagnus player all the way back in Overdress Set 1. It was the first Overdress deck I built. The first real deck I actually brought to locals, in all honesty. I played it at Set 1, I played it at Set 2, and then we got to Set 30, and I'm like, hey, Flagberg, hey, Magnolia, and I kind of stopped playing the deck. And then Set 4 dropped, I'm like, hey, Magnolia Elder, let's play this, and I've never really played Baro since, so I don't really know what any of the cards do. You guys should be grateful. I had to actually go through and read what those cards do, which is something I don't really like doing, because I'm like, oh, whatever. Anyways, looks like Baro did, absolutely nothing. I will say, something that really surprised me is that you get 5k on your Vanguard when you ride up to grade 2, which is like kind of funny. I do miss the days of Electrospark. That guy was really cool. And the grade 1, who unfortunately got replaced in like Set 4. But anyways, back to the match. We have the Order Cycler being played here, discarding the Blitz Order, Fox Order, which is... Actually, that's not the Blitz Order, that's a normal order. It's like Soul Blast 2, and then you call Rurumi and Rarami from your drop. So pretty solid. I would say that Tamayura honestly has like a lot of kind of pretty solid like order cards here. Like this one, it literally has a second skill that you can activate from the drop, which is like insane, but unfortunately none of it is good enough, as we play the second one there that we did mill off. And because it does go to soul, it actually doesn't go back to the deck due to the effect of that order cycler there. But it looks like we actually added this time. I think we whiffed on the first one. Could be calling a... Ooh, I want to say it's Rirumi, and that's Rarami. Yeah, Rarami is the boy, Rirumi is the girl. I have actually been reading a little bit of the lore. Tamayura's lore is actually really, really sad. But looks like we're going to be swinging here for a nice... Okay, I guess we're swinging rear first. Definitely makes sense unless you're playing like front. And especially if you have like a back row. Rear guard, you probably want to swing the Vanguard second, like just in case they don't guard it and they hit a defensive. But we're gonna swing it here, just getting nothing off the drive check. Unfortunately, you can't really play like extra rear guards, which I think is another one of the problems with Tamayura. Tamayura is definitely one of those decks that is like super specific on the rear guards that it needs, to the point where it's like you can't really afford to play anything else. Like I would say, what's another deck that's an example of that? Like Messiah. Messiah is very reliant on like having very specific rear guards. A deck like Astrologia to a point, and I would definitely say something like Flagberg. Flagberg is super reliant on the cards that it needs, having the front row. Anyways, discarding to right up here, letting us Soul Charge 2, and then we actually call something, which is cool. But you know what else is cool? Soul Charge 1, draw a card, put a card from hand to soul. Is that what Electric Spartan did? I don't remember what he did. I remember calling him and being like, Counterblast 1, Soul Charge 2, and that was good back in the day. But looks like we're going to be calling out that Direful doll, the one that's like CB1. We can call it behind the Vanguard, I guess. And another thing that I noticed when I was reading all these Barrow cards is like Barrow does not gain any power, which is like kind of funny because I always remember like the most important thing about playing Barrow back in the early days was he was like a 23k base Vanguard, and that was really big back in the day, because the only thing that was like getting to 23 was unironically like Nirvana at that point. But we have 2 copies of the Direful dolls here. It looks like we counterblasted 1 for each of them, so now all of our Soul Charge abilities are going to be +1 this turn. Looks like we're kind of thinking about what we want to play next. I don't know what card that is we have. Oh, that's one of the new cards. I've just been calling him like Skinny Man. On place, he like bot decks 2 things, so it helps you not deck out. And then what is that? EB. Oh, you actually have the EB3 or EB. Yeah, EB3 in order to get this. Soul Charge 2, and then because those Direful are going to Soul Charge 2 more, putting us straight to 10. Which, you know, in Old Barrow, that would mean, what does that mean in Old Barrow? Like, get a crit, draw a card, get 10k or something? I forget which one. Oh, it's 10k and a crit because, like, the 5 soul is the draw 1 card. But you'd always just, like, get that one by default. Looks like we're going to be playing the Pandemonium tactics here. Thanks to the effect of the Direful dolls, we're going to be Soul Charging 6 here. Damn, Brainwash Thriller would go crazy. An extra 30k there. And then another 20k off of the other 2 Soul Charge. Looks like we managed to Soul Charge a Flaming Pony here. So we're going to be Soul Charging another 4 cards. And the first 2 cards off the top of the deck are 2 more copies of those Flaming Ponies. We're going to use a second one in order to Soul Charge yet another 4 cards. And with that, we've actually hit 20, which I think is the requirement for New Barrow. To get like the is it triple door to become Flagberg, you must reach 20k credit cards in soul, which I think is pretty funny. As yeah, that should be 22. I will mention I do not want to count how many Barrows there are in the soul. You cannot make me, so I'm just going to assume that there are 0 Barrows in the soul, because why would Barrow be playing Persona Ride, right? Like, you don't need Persona Ride. It's not like your Vanguard is like absolutely weak. Which is why you need that 18k booster sometimes, I guess. Another card over there, that Selfish Engraver. Damn, I love Selfish Engraver. Artwork on that card is like absolutely perfect. One of my favorite artworks in all of Overdress. She was like super clutch in set 1, like probably like the most important card. I mean in set 1 we had like a total of 3 cards that even said countercharge, so her being like technically generic was like always super cool. And then like you could color off Barrow and then like Soul Charge again, and then you can like threaten, oh, if I hit I'm gonna get to 15 soul. But anyways, we're sweet in the Selfish Engraver for that 28k 10k base with that 18k booster. Hitting here actually going to be a little bit unfortunate because Selfish Engraver is unironically mandatory, and because of the Direful doll, we're going to be Soul Charging 3, 2 triggers and an Elementaria, putting ourselves up to 25, and then putting the Selfish Engraver in the soul in order to countercharge there, to get another what was that, 4 cards into soul. As we swing this other column, the one interesting thing about Skinny Man is he literally just gets 15k for no reason. Like, why do you get 15k? Like, why are you allowed to do that? But it looks like we're going to be guarding with a Frontier, as well as a double intercept with the Ririmi and Rarami, putting them both into the soul there, which is, perfectly fine. I mean, they're probably going to go into soul either way with this next attack. Swinging the Barrow for a pretty pathetic 31 there. Desperately needing that 18k booster, which is very funny in my opinion. Sliding 1 card into soul, as well as the Order Cycler from back there, kind of just making the Vanguard a little bit, less formidable. Definitely one of Tamayura's problems is that, like, you don't have anything good to put behind the booster. I think that's like, if they ever want to make Tamayura good, what they should do is make like her support card be something that's like center back row. Like if Ririmi is the right arrestor and Rarami is the left arrestor. Where's our center arrestor? There's also like back row arresters, right? But yeah, they should definitely put like something behind Tamayura. Like, fuck it, make it a back row attack. Anyways, oh, we call the Swirler off the Barrow skill here, and we soul charged 3 cards, giving it an extra 15k, and looks like we're gonna be calling another one of those skinny bands there, putting only 1 card because the only cards left in drop are the a trigger unit and the Pandemonium Tactics, as we're going to soul charge another 4 cards to soul, giving another 20k to that freaking Brainwash Swirler there, making the deck look pretty thin there, as we're going to be continuing our Vanguard attack. How long has this been? This has been like a couple minutes, and we're still in the middle of Barrow's attack. Very cool. Yeah, basically front row is getting another 10k, 15k with that. Just kind of assigning powers here. Checking the soul, which is, I guess, kind of rare. You have to actually like look through the soul that much, like count triggers, I suppose. Definitely can't be too many triggers left at this point. Does New Barrow get a crit? It should, right? Like, Old Barrow gets a crit. Shouldn't New Barrow get a crit too? All I know is it gets guard restrict and the soul in. So we're gonna drive check 2, a Brainwash Swirler, and another Skinny Man. So it's gonna ping us 2 damage, yep. And both of them are going to be defensives. So you have a fuck ton of power on the right and a fuck ton of power on the left. But it's only 35, meaning if this is a 15k guard, actually it's a 5k guard because of that double defensive, which is pretty unfortunate. You really needed these attacks to kind of push that last damage, as we swing the Brainwash Swirler for that very cool 53, very casual 53 there. Yeah. Looks like we're just going to go ahead and PG that super massive attack, kind of keep ourselves at 4. Definitely does give us a little bit of leeway. Assuming you can guard the Vanguard, it like makes it so you have 1 more attack to take during the next turn. Although, honestly, like at this point, isn't Barrow kind of out of gas? Like, what else can you do at this point without like destroying your deck? I suppose there's that one grade 2 that's like 2k base. But like outside of that, does Barrow have any like really strong rear guards outside of its like big soul charge turn, like its first grade 3 turn? Honestly, I don't know. What do we do here? Oh, we use the Fire Regalius there, and looks like we called a Ririmi off the top there. Unfortunately, we don't have a Rarami, so we can't actually use its skill. Not that I think we would want to, considering like that's the one that like removes things by putting them into soul, which clearly Barrow doesn't need any more soul, so you know, whatever. But looks like we're playing the Fox art there. Gonna be soul blasting 2 cards, probably just a Ririmi and Rarami. Oh, looks like we're gonna be soul blasting the starter, and then we can call a Ririmi and a Rarami from a drop. Probably been calling out that grade 2 that we just soul blasted out, and then yeah, the booster Ririmi. One thing I have figured out is that the grade 1s will always boost like the opposite one of them. Just kind of interesting, I guess. Honestly, like all the Direful Doll artworks in Tamayura kind of like look the same. Like the only difference is like slight shade of purple, and they're facing one direction or the other. The grade 1s are especially like atrocious. Like the only way you can tell them apart is like one of them says counter charge and the other doesn't. That's the way I always tell them apart. But honestly, this board is not really looking the greatest. Like that board over there is 18. We got a 10k over here, and Vanguard is at 13. Yeah, no booster for the Vanguard is kind of unfortunate. We did exhaust a lot of cards guarding that last attack, so we do only have 4. And Tamayura, of course, not really being a deck that tends to make very much advantage in the first place, is definitely like kind of unfortunate. But it looks like we're actually going to aim for the rear guards here, which is definitely, you know, like a decent play. Like if you just kind of damage starve Baromagnus, if they don't see the Selfish Engraver, they're kind of cooked. Like what are they going to do? They're a 3 attack deck at that point. Definitely could have been some logic to not actually, you know, attacking or just, what am I trying to say? I don't even know. There is some logic to attacking the Vanguard, I think was what I was trying to say, is because like it can get cards out of their deck basically at this point. And it looks like we're doing another attack targeted at the rear guard. Gonna be using the Rarami here, putting them both into the soul, but unfortunately we don't have anything to countercharge. But we're gonna be swinging the Vanguard here for 13. Honestly, like, Barrow only had 3 cards in hand. There was a decent chance that you could just kind of clobber them if you swung everything in at the Vanguard. I mean, obviously that other attack isn't going to be able to hit, but looks like this Vanguard's gonna be swinging in at that Brainwash Spoiler. Not seeing anything off of the drive checks, so things are a little bit sketchy here. We did call a full column instead of, you know, calling for 2 more attacks. So looks like we're just gonna go ahead and pass on that, leave Barrow with 0 CB. Putting them in a super awkward position. I think we definitely saw like at least 1 swirler, but if we take a look at the hand there, we've got the skinny man, who technically could refuel 2 cards into the deck, but the problem with doing that is I think it's a mandatory soul charge, so like you're not even like putting more cards into your deck. You're literally just going even on your deck. You're basically just minusing your drop zone at that point. We'll say at least he's a strong attacker here. As we call him down, as well as I'm not sure what that other card is. Glare's blocking a little bit, but even if it's like not something good, we could theoretically always push up like the Direful Doll and just like swing face. Is it another one of the skinny men? I think so. If it's getting that plus 15, gotta do a quick soul check. That's a fucking fat ass stack there. I know you can't really see it considering the angle, which is why I showed that off. Like, I don't think Barrow's normally supposed to have a stack that big, right? Like, it's only supposed to go up to 20. Even when I played Barrow, it never got up that big. Because, I mean, well, obviously, you can see the size of the deck at this point. As we're going to be swinging for this pretty big number there, was at 25 plus 8, 33. Guarding with the front trigger there, as well as the intercept to finish it off. Swinging the Vanguard once again for 31. Definitely only 31. There's absolutely 0 way that there is more than 1 Barrow in the soul. Don't at me. Gonna be PG'd again, which is pretty unfortunate, although at this point, like, how many triggers can you possibly even have left? I guess the answer is 1, because we did hit a heal trigger there. Of course, not being in heal range is kind of unfortunate, although it doesn't really matter. Looking at the size of your deck, you probably got like 1 more turn left in you. If even that, I think that's 3 cards. But like, you know, if your rear guards are fat, then like you could still attack. But we're going to swing this last attack, which is pretty big. 33, 43, 53, another one. But unfortunately, it hits into a heal trigger, so basically that heal trigger has exhausted any like hope that you had of actually winning this match, I think. Unless you randomly throw out that 1 grade 2 from set 3 and then like put everything back, which you would literally have to take 1 damage, guard the rest, and then like call her. But considering that turn 4 is kind of where Tamayura is actually able to do something because they have access to Persona Ride, not to mention the extra 5k from Tamayura's skill. You know, you've got what, 5 cards in hand? Are you gonna be able to guard 5 attacks? Probably not. Anyways, we did see the Ride Skipper being called down there, just giving us straight to the new Tamayura. And I think we're doing things a little bit out of order here. You do actually search the order and then you activate Persona Ride, but as you can see, they're kind of doing what, you know, would be preferred, which is the Ride, add the order, search, play the order, and then they're going to draw off Persona Ride. But just like as a quick note, that is like activate Persona Ride before you play the order card. Yeah, see, we're going to be drawing off Persona Ride there, but you were supposed to do that earlier. Not sure. Oh, very interesting card here. Gonna be calling out the Hakusho here, calling a plant token. Hakusho is definitely a choice in Tamayura. I mean, technically, like everything, you do have a lot of things that get placed from card abilities, so there is like some logic there. And like I said, your Vanguard is also kind of weak, so giving it an extra 10k could also be a viable strategy. But the main problem with it I see is like, how much extra counterblast do you even have in Tamayura? Like, the answer is like 0, because like, well, I guess it might be a little bit more considering how the new Tamayura doesn't use as much CP. But you're still like counterblasting 1 to call back the grade 1, so like, no, never mind. But this other column with Persona Ride with the extra 5k and the 10k plant token here, which we're gonna actually correct and make it an actual plant token, is gonna make it 35k column, which is actually pretty scary. which, you know, that's pretty good. Although I think you would rather have like a 33k column with Ririmi and Anatomy, and then make like a 38k column. Yeah, I don't know. That's just me. But looks like we're gonna go ahead and hit with a double intercept. It's not gonna be enough? We could throw down a 15k on the double intercept. That would be 38. That should be enough to guard it. And then we're gonna swing this last attack here. The Vanguard binding the old Tamayura to call back a Ririmi and a Rarami. Going to be using the skill of the Rarami there. Soul Blasting 2 in order to draw a card. And then using the skills of both the grade 1s there to counterblast 1 for each of them and then call them back into their respective columns. Like I said, you literally just use 2 CBs to do that. Of course, those columns are going to be fat thanks to that Hakusho there. But this Vanguard swing for 28, 2 cards in hand. We can see them. We barely have enough to like one guard this, one to pass this, but we are going to see a crit trigger there, and we're actually going to just deck out from that. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to see 2 things: like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one.